Yep. I don't know what that was. So, hi. It's been a very long time since I made one of these. I don't even know how to properly begin this. I think the last time I made a vlog was in March, and now it is the end of June, almost July. The lighting might be terrible, but right now this is the only room I can do this in that doesn't have noise and distraction, so bear with me. I have been thinking about doing this video, thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it, not doing it, not doing it, not doing it, thinking about it, and now I'm finally doing it, kind of making myself do it. I feel like I need to make this, and it's important to make, to just update everybody about myself and update how I'm doing. So if you do not care about how I am doing and how I am thinking and feeling, then be free to skip this video and you won't miss anything. But I know that some of you guys do care about how I'm doing and ask frequently how I'm doing, and I wanted to give kind of a proper update explanation, insight into my crazy mind and into my personal realm of everything that is going on, and kind of brain vomit on you guys a little bit. It's a terrible term, but that's the best way I can explain this, is just brain vomit. So from my last vlog, I did mention that there was a lot going on, and there's still a lot going on. More so at the time, I mentioned that I had recently got promoted, so I took on a greater role at my company, and I was in the process of going with John. He was getting surgery, and surgery went well for him. This year we have gone through a lot of home repairs, a lot of just unexpected expenses. Just time just kind of just seems to flee, and it gets worse as you get older. Like I can't even really describe it. It's just, you know, one day, like today is June 27th and tomorrow will be August 1st for all I know. And that's how time feels like to me. Even though I spend a lot of it just doing this, it still feels like it's going by like that. So in the midst of all the chaos of everything that's going on, I found myself hitting another brick wall in life. Some people will call this a quarter life crisis. They'll call it a brick wall. Like I do. I don't know. I don't know what it is technically, and I can't really speak from personal experience that this is normal and okay. You know, even though I read that it's normal and okay, it doesn't feel normal and okay. I've also been going through some personal health issues, some mental health issues that has made me second guess every single thing I think about, everything I do, everything that I say and how I act, and it's just like this constant worry about what's going on with me internally and externally, that I am just a basket case. Just terrible. Why have I been avoiding vlogs? Why have I not made this sooner? And what is going on? Why is it so terrible? I mean, to a lot of people this is probably nothing, but to me it's been a constant internal battle with myself, and I have kind of dabbled between wanting to talk about it and not wanting to talk about it, because I don't want to seem desperate. I don't want to seem like I want attention, you know, which I never want that, especially on this channel. If you know me and if you've seen any of my content, you know that I am not here for attention. I am not about flashy effects and, you know, fake stories and all this stuff. Like, this is pretty much as real as you can get to the real thing. I mean, the only thing that I don't do is carry this vlog around like every freaking where I go and introduce you to everybody in my life and everything that I do. But in the grand scheme of things, sometimes I wish I could, to better show you what I mean and what I'm going through without being so vague about everything. I hate being vague about everything. Being all like, hush, hush, you can't talk about it kind of thing. For some reason, I've had it in my mind lately that vlogging was not a good thing for me to do now that I was manager, because it was not illegal, but it restricted what I could say and what I could do, and I felt like having this role kind of put me on a pedestal where people would watch me and people, you know, would know who I was and know who I talk about and would wait for me to talk about him, and it just made me so subconscious about people watching me, which is stupid because I have a channel with almost 10,000 subscribers. Of course people are watching me, but I've lately became so paranoid about it that it consumed my life, and I would start vlogging, I would start recording something, and then I would stop because I'm like, oh my god, what if so-and-so finds this, and what if, you know, this person watches it, and like just kind of acted like this criminal on camera. And I don't want to feel that way, and I don't want anything that I say or do to come across like that. What this is, what I feel this is a way for me to express myself, a way for me to talk about moments and instances without throwing somebody out of the bus, without particularly calling somebody out, without, you know, it's not talking about people behind their back, it's just, you know, me saying that I am frustrated with what I am doing. It's not the job, it's not the company, it's not the person, it's just, it's me. Because to every single person in the world, an experience is unique. You know, what is difficult for me isn't difficult for you, and vice versa, you know, and that's how it is, and that's how I perceive this, and I want this to be perceived. So I had avoided doing vlogs for a while because I was afraid that certain people that I knew, you know, at work and in my family and of my friends would watch this and would raise concern and like approach it. And I sat down and said, you know what? If any of this ever gets me in trouble or raises the bar of questioning about myself, then so be it, because I am not a person who wants to hide things. You know, I don't want, you know, obviously to reveal such, you know, information in order to slander against, you know, somebody or something. I have always been particularly careful in the way that I discuss things and topics. Like, I don't mention people's names. I don't mention companies' names. I don't mention where exactly I work and so on and so forth. Like, but I also don't shit on people as such. Like, I don't go around and be like, oh, Anne's a fucking bitch and I hate working with her. By the way, I don't work with an Anne, in case you're worried about there. But I don't do that. It's just, so that has been part of the reason why you haven't seen anything. And then the other part is this whole quarter life crisis thing that I'm going through. I'm pretty sure I went through this maybe a couple of years ago. But I don't think it was to this degree, to like as this bad. And somehow I got over that the last time, but I don't remember what happened and like what changed. But I hit another moment with it, and it was like the most strangest and scariest feeling that I've ever experienced. It made me feel like I was crazy. Like, I woke up one day, and it was a work day, and I usually get up at like 6:30 in the morning during the week because I need that half hour to just wake up in the morning because I'm not a morning person. But I wake up And I sat there on the bed and I'm like fighting to stay awake, like I do every morning, because I hate waking up early. And I just like looked around, and I just like looking at myself and like everything around me, and the realization that I have to go to work, that I have to go to a job that I dislike. And I just cried. Like, it was just overwhelming sensation of like, I don't know if you want to call it utter depression, but like, of just despair, of just like, oh my God, this is my life. This is what I do 40 hours a week. Like, and it just hit me, and it hit me like a fucking ton of bricks. It was so hard, and it hurt so much. Like, you ever get so emotionally upset or you cry that like it hurts your lungs and your chest to cry? That's what it felt like. It felt like it took the wind out of me. It felt like my brain hurt, like my heart hurt. It was just the strangest feeling. I've never experienced anything to that degree of intensity. And all I did was just wake up. Like, my alarm went off and I shut it off and I sat in bed and I just started crying. It was the most stupid thing. But that was like a couple months ago already. And ever since then, I've just been in a funk that I have not been able to shake for so long. I'm just starting to come out of it, and I'm working towards trying to do something about it, but it put me in such a mood. It was terrible. And I was avoiding people. I was, you know, just kind of shutting myself out from the world, hiding at home, being upset. It was not good. Not good at all. And I gotta drag more videos over, backing up videos as I'm making this. Hold on one second. Berry Cherry Wendy's. Very good. So what was I talking about before I stopped? Oh yeah. Yeah, so I was just avoiding everybody and everything. I was just dreading everything that came across. I was just utterly depressed for so long, and I didn't know what was causing it. I didn't know if it was something conditional in my life. I didn't know if it was my like actual mental health. And when I was going to the doctors and I was telling the doctor, like, you know, I'm having these thoughts and these feelings, I don't know what's causing them. So then this path of, you know, let's get blood work, let's try this, let's do this medicine, let's, you know, all of this shit. And I'm sure if any of you spend more time at the doctors than you ever want to, can understand. But it went from, well, you know, maybe you do have depression and anxiety, but maybe it's also caused by the other medicine you're taking, maybe it's a side effect, maybe it's you know, like maybe your thyroid and like your hormone levels are weird. And like I got blood work done and my cholesterol and stuff was like all over the place, and my period just completely vanished, and I wasn't pregnant. And TMI, yeah, but like that's how much stress and shit was going on in my life. Like my body was just like malfunctioning. So I got put on medicine, and I'm still on this medicine, and it's like, oh, if it's working, you know, keep taking it, but then you have issues and call me and it can, you know, cause this and that. And like one of the symptoms that, or side effects rather, that this medicine causes is it causes you to retain fluid. So like your extremities start to swell, so like your hands can swell, your ankles can swell, it can cause heart issues. This is what I'm ingesting every day of my life. Twice a day, actually, of my life. It put me in this kind of lay down and die kind of feeling. Like I felt like where I was in my life, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with my job. I wasn't happy with the way my life was going. And that's excluding the relationship thing. Like John and I are good. There's nothing wrong with us. And I wouldn't change anything about us. It was just everything else surrounding it. Just like the mundane, everyday, monotonous work schedule, you know, eating the same foods every day, talking to the same people every day, you know, playing the same games every day, just like stupid little shit, just like got on my nerves, put me in like a really bad mood. And I just isolated myself from everyone and everything. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to visit people. I didn't want to text anybody. Like, I'm to the point where I keep my phone permanently on silent because I really don't want to be bothered, like, by anybody. Like, unless you're dying, don't call me kind of situation. And I was just, speaking of which, look at that. It's not on silent today, isn't it? Oh, look at that. It's like my phone detected that I was looking at it because Facebook is creepy like that. This went on for a while. I started reapplying to different jobs, to different places, because I thought, well, maybe it's also my job. Maybe my job is causing me to feel like this, and if I eliminate my job, then I'll feel better. So I started reapplying to jobs again. We've been down this road so many times. And I actually snagged a bite on somewhere rather that I applied to, which is a well-known company in the area that I live, actually reached out to me, which was like a moment. It's like, oh my god, they got a hold of me, holy fucking shit. So they seemed really eager and they're like, yeah, we want you to come in for an interview. So, you know, arranged my entire schedule between work and going to the doctors and like everything else to like go in for this interview. I felt really confident and I felt like the interview went really well and I got along with the people, and the environment of this place was everything that I was hoping for. It was very similar to where I work, but it was just new people. It was just like different kind of work. Like they were a t-shirt company, and it felt like, oh my god, like when you walk in the door of a place and you interview and you're like, I could work here. I could really work here. And it felt like that. And I felt so happy and just like, I'm going to get this job. I know I will. And then nothing. Nothing. It really sucked. You know, I gotta admit, at 31, after being interviewed hundreds of times, it still hurts to be rejected, no matter what the reason is. Sometimes companies don't ever give you a reason. They don't ever tell you that you're turned down. They don't ever reach back out to you. And then if you try to reach out to them, they never reply anyway. You know, it's not like years ago where, you know, if you applied for a position and you didn't hear back, you could call them and be like, hey, I'm just following up on that interview I had last week, you know, and then they talk about it, or they go, oh, we'll have so-and-so call you back. It's not like that anymore. It's like you send an email and it gets deleted and they pretend you don't exist, and then you call and leave messages and they never pick up on your phone number, and it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And they avoid you at all costs. So I was really bummed about that, and then thus sending me back into the spiral of negativity and depression and everything. And then I thought, well, maybe it's me, maybe I'm terrible, maybe, you know, maybe my life is not meant for anything, I'm supposed to suffer my whole life kind of thing. And it was just really exhausting. It was really exhausting. And I just kind of had this I don't give a fuck attitude. Like, I'd go into work and something would fuck up and I'm just like, you know what, I don't even care anymore. I don't even care anymore. And that's a bad mindset to have as a manager, is the I don't care anymore mindset. That's what I had been experiencing for a while. I, in desperation of trying to figure out what it is I'm here for and what I'm doing and what I'm supposed to be doing and what potential I have, I've come to the conclusion that I'm not happy with my job. I'm not exactly happy with my life in terms of, I'm not happy with the way that I handle my responsibilities. Like, my hobbies, my things to do. I procrastinate, I put things off, I, never finish things. I start things and never finish them, which is a huge problem, and it's becoming a lot worse. Not just Let's Plays and games and stuff, but like dishes, laundry, cleaning, following up with friends, broken promises and stuff like that. Just like saying, yeah, I'll do that, and then never do it, and then just kind of hide and pretend like the world will forget you one day and just move on, and it's a terrible way to think. So I started kind of researching and not self-diagnosing. I don't want to sound like a doctor, but I started kind of like looking up terms, watching some stuff. I started getting into some like YouTubers who were life coaches and like stuff like that. Just anything, just grabbing straws, just trying to make sense of whatever the hell I was feeling, whatever the hell I was thinking, and just trying to figure all of this out. And while I'm nowhere close in solving the great mystery scheme of my life, I'm getting better, getting there, feeling a little bit more like myself. I still have bad days. I still have really good days, but it fluctuates. So it's not 100% guaranteed. No refunds, no, questions or anything. And one of the things which I recently started to do, and it's so strange for me to even admit or even discuss, is I started looking into a theory, belief, thing, whatever you'd like to call it. It's like a life coach kind of step mechanism, stepping stone thing of life. And you can look into it on the internet if you want to know more about it, but it's something called the law of attraction. And it's a fancy way of saying that if you send good vibes out, then good vibes will come back to you. So if you believe positively and you have a little faith, and no matter what you have faith in, it could be religious faith, it could just be the universe. If you think positively and you release the negative thoughts, that good things will come to you. And if you ask the universe for help, this imaginary thing for help, that it will help guide you in the right direction. And I was pretty skeptic about it, but I was like, what the fuck do I have to lose? Kind of thing. One of the things that it said that you could do as kind of a starting point is ask the universe a question. Ask the universe to give you a sign. What I asked was, I was like, dear universe, should I quit this job? And as a sign, I said, show me a black cat, a solid black cat. And I said a black cat because nobody that I personally know owns a black cat. I know people who have black and white cats, but I was just like a solid black cat. And that morning that I had asked that question, throughout the entire day of one day, I saw 4 solid black cats. And after I saw the one, I was like, okay, this is, just coincidence, whatever. Kind of blew it off. And it was because I was doing something for work that involved advertising and there was a black cat. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then I saw one driving, and then I saw a couple more, and I was just like, okay, maybe the universe does kind of exist and work, and there is some sort of law of attraction, because those are signs. Those are signs. So I've been doing that, and I've been kind of trying to revamp my life, trying to think positively and do things, and not be afraid to do things, and not dwell on stuff that I shouldn't. I mean, I know it's really vague, but I not only did I have the fear that people that I would know be watching my videos, but I also had the fear of, if my current place of employment doesn't work out, or if I can't work here anymore, where will I go? And like, if I can't find another job in graphic design, what will I do? You know, and my whole life has been centered around just like absolutely having to know where to go and never jumping blind anywhere. Like, I don't see myself as a risk taker. Like, when I was younger, I might have been more so of a risk taker. Like, my first couple jobs out of high school were just like, I suddenly don't want to work here anymore, and called up and quit. And I had absolutely no remorse. I thought it was funny, and it kind of gave me a little bit of a thrill, and I would jump to the next job and I'd do the same thing. And then it got to the point, the last job I walked out on, which was at Walmart, and I was unemployed for 3 months, and it fucking sucked. And it was a scary point because I had bills to pay, I had no money, and because I walked out, I couldn't collect. So that was a problem. And I was applying for jobs anywhere, and it just gave me such a bad rep that I walked out of so many jobs that it just kind of caught up to me and put me in a really shitty situation. And then eventually led to the grocery store job that I had, where I met John, and then we started dating, and you know, all that story brought us to here. So like, it was meant to be in some crazy way, shape, or form, but you know, it's something that lives distinctively in the back of my mind. And I am a person who has always replayed things in my mind, like just like a videotape. You hit rewind, you keep watching it over and over again. Like, should have done this, and should have done that, should have said this, should have said that, should have went here, should have done that. And like, just living in the past all the time. Regrets. Like, I go to bed and I think of like the most embarrassing thing that happened to me in 6th grade, and I can't sleep. And that's like my life in a nutshell. It's just like, why did I do that? Why did this happen? And like 13 years out of high school, this is where I am in life, thinking about this shit. And then just recently, my nephew graduated high school. It's hard to believe he's 18, but then that whole nostalgia trip went back because I was attending his class night, and I watched a stream of his graduation, and then John and I thought it would be interesting for both of us to get our yearbooks and like compare, because I'm 2 years older than him and we both went to different schools. So we were comparing like yearbooks, and we were talking about teachers we knew and like kids we knew, and we were just reading some of the stuff and like stuff about ourselves that we put in, and you know, stuff like that. And then the whole memory nostalgia thing happens again, and then made me think about a lot of who I was in high school and who I am now. And while I am very proud to say that I'm not as shy as I was in high school, I still have a lot of growing up to do. I still do. I used to be an incredibly shy kid, and I would pretend to just sit in the back and never exist, and I never wanted to be called on, I never wanted to be bothered. I hated doing homework projects, especially with people. I was just very isolated, like, just go away, leave me alone, don't talk to me. But I was also horrendously bullied forever. For like, probably since 3rd or 4th grade, I was just horrendously bullied for every single stupid thing in the book. Like the way that I looked, the fact that I was fat, the clothes that I wore, you know, like throwing up in the middle of class, like my nickname, because my nickname was Cat. Like, they found reasons to get at me under my skin, and it all worked. And it broke me down as a person over time. I did not see it as fun. It was traumatizing, and going back in my mind and reliving the way that I felt in those instances, it does make me feel for a lot of kids going through that shit today, because, you know, whereas, you know, my shit was bad, but also was not plastered all over the internet because there wasn't such a thing as social media at the time. And now these kids have to deal with that and the social media part of it. So I could not even fathom what kids go through. Like, it's gotta fucking really suck. Moral of the story being, I'm rambling. like I always do. I am trying to figure out what I want to do and where I want to go, and like, it's scary to kind of think to yourself in a positive way when your mind is filled with all of these what ifs and buts, and you're trying to reprogram yourself to say, it's okay, it'll work out. Trust me. So I have like the angel and devil sitting on the shoulder going, what do you mean trust me? Like, shut up, she knows what she's doing, kind of thing. That's what's going on. So I'm trying to breathe. I'm trying to live in the now and enjoy everything. Focus on getting back on track. Focus on getting back into doing scheduled, consistent Let's Plays and possibly some other things. Like, this might be surprising to you guys, but I have contemplated for a couple of years now, maybe like a year and a half, almost 2 years, contemplated starting a podcast where the theme might not necessarily be there or right. I just thought, man, that looks so cool to do. And I watch a couple people and their podcasts and I listen to stuff, and maybe it's because of my age that I'm that kind of person who likes to listen to people talk about things. Like, I like watching people vlog. I like listening to podcasts, just listening to people talk. Like, I'm a very radio person too, which I guess might make me go to podcasts a lot. But I like hearing about people discussing their opinions and topics and polls and all kinds of stuff like that. And I like that. And I thought, my God, that would be so freaking cool to do. And to just like get different people to come in to talk, like have John come on and talk with me about something, you know, get like some friends from like the stream to like come in and talk, just stuff like that. People that I've known throughout my life to just come in and talk. And I don't necessarily know if it would be entirely focused on video games or just like random topics. I'm not sure. But I thought, my God, that'd be so cool. And then there's a part of me that thinks, my God, I don't know how to do a podcast. What kind of, you know, setup do I need to get? Do I need to get a special microphone? You know, how do I do this whole iTunes thing? How do I, you know, blah, 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 blah. And then the anxiety starts spinning and you're like, oh my God, I don't know how to set this up. This is scary. One thing that's weighed me down in everything that I've ever done in life is failure. I am not very good with failure, and I have to change that. I'm going to change that. Mindset change. I'm going to change that. I don't want to be a person who is afraid of making a mistake, who thinks it's like detrimental. Like, I'm not hanging off of a cliff somewhere. I just need to prioritize my thoughts and realize that at the end of the day, if things work out or not, that I'm okay and I'm alive and everything's fine. If you guys are experiencing the same thing, I highly recommend you go watch Eileen, aka Lavender, on YouTube. I'll try to post something in the description. She's currently doing a Dream Life series, and it's been very eye-opening. That's what I've been doing. I've been watching her and her videos and doing like little worksheets and prompts and stuff, and like trying to figure out what my dream life is. 'Cause my dream life has changed so many times. I don't even really know if I fully had a dream life. Like, I think my dream life in the beginning was envisioned by my parents. And that's not to say that they did it like as a disrespect or that they were selfish about it. I think that they wanted the best for me, and they wanted me to feel like I deserved the best because of my upbringing, the fact that I was adopted. They didn't want me to feel like I was a loner, or that I, you know, didn't deserve to be around here, and that I could do whatever I wanted. So that was how I was raised, was, you know, if you want to grow 600 feet tall and touch the moon, then so be it. You can do it, kind of thing. So my go-to as a kid was, I'm going to be a veterinarian because I love animals. And that was my dream goal for like, oh God, like 16 years or something. Not 16 years. I don't want to say like I had this dream since I was born, but it was probably like a good 10 years of my life. I was like, I'm going to be a veterinarian. And then I job shadowed at a veterinarian when I was a sophomore or a junior I job shadowed. I lost my shit when I saw a dog get put down. Like, I sat through cat and dog surgery. I was bottle feeding baby kittens. I was helping trim cats' claws. I was walking dogs. I was taking care of kennels. I was doing all this stuff, and I was having a blast. I was having fun working with animals. And then I saw someone's like 15-year-old family pet get put down, and I lost my mind. And I just thought, my God, if I have to be a vet, that means that's what I gotta do. And this could be a daily thing. Like, I don't know if I could handle that as a human being. Like, I can't handle my own pet getting put down. I couldn't imagine doing it on like a weekly basis for like my clients. Holy shit, no. I couldn't do that. That happened at the tail end of high school. So I was about maybe like 16. And then I didn't know what to do after that point. I was just like, I don't know. And then I didn't pick a college. I didn't do anything. I took a year off. Then I'm like, you know what? I'm a good artist and I love to paint. So how about I do interior decorating? But I cheaped out going to school. So I didn't actually go to like a physical college to learn interior decorating. I did like a course in the mail. And while I cheated it, I'm kind of grateful that I cheated it, because I realized that there was a lot more to interior decorating than just painting walls like I wanted to do. It was just like learning the different kinds of furniture and like, you know, how many different French lamps there were. And I was just like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing that. So that kind of saved me a lot of money in the long run. And then went to school for video game design, because I was like, I like video games and like I'm good at art. So I was thinking maybe concept art would be really cool, to be a concept artist. In hindsight, I knew that in order for me to get a good job, I would have to move. And I was at the time all planned on moving, all planned on, you know, yeah, I'm going to go live in California. I'm going to work for Capcom. That was the dream. And then the dream never happened, because while working at the grocery store, I met John. We fell in love. I stayed here. I helped his mom. We got the house, all that stuff. And here I am still in Pennsylvania, not in California, not utilizing my video game design degree, which is honestly, because of where I live, a really dumb degree. So then I branched out to do graphic design, and it was really hard to work from the bottom with like no experience all the way up to, well, I can't even really say where I am is the top, but all the way up the ladder as far as I could go. And I think it was because I didn't go to school for graphic design. I only learned a little bit about it in school while going for video game design. So I took Photoshop, I took Illustrator and all that stuff. I even took animation. Not good at animation at all. Don't tell me to animate anything. Then trying to convince people as I was trying to look for work, like, yeah, I did this one thing, and then people just kind of like, no, you don't have a degree in graphic design, we don't want you. And it's been very reflective of everything that I've been trying to do, including my portfolio, including just like interviewing people. And now my school isn't even like a school anymore. Like, you go on the website, it doesn't exist. So like, that's another problem I have is I go to apply for jobs. It's like, oh, I went to Westwood online. Oh, what's Westwood? I don't fucking know. It doesn't exist anymore. Hooray. So I don't know how much that recorded, because I literally think it just shut off. But as I was trying to say, I got really far with like no experience, doing what little I could, learning so much along the way. I'm still learning stuff to this day. I am by no means a fantastic, you know, perfection, you know, high, top class, top notch graphic designer. But God damn it, I'm a manager now, so that's gotta count to something. And this camera's crooked. I'm sorry. There we go. So yeah, I mean, I did that, and like, it benefited me as well as like my career, because I can implement it into YouTube and to Twitch and like do my own stuff, like do stuff that typical YouTubers would like pay people for, to like do emotes and like banners and avatars and like stuff like that. I can do myself. Like I do all my thumbnails, and I do like just all of the art, my own logos and everything. But now, as far as like now that I'm a manager, I've pretty much, I am where I am, and I could always learn more and I can always be better. But I don't know if I want to. Like, I don't know if I'm the kind of person who just likes to jump around to different jobs and do something different, because I'm just like, okay, I've done what I could, what's next? And thinking about that makes me think, well, what the hell else will I do? Time and time again, in the back of my mind, it always reflects back to doing YouTube and doing vlogging and possibly a podcast and like more streaming. And there's like a giant fear. It's like a ball of fear that's like this big, and it is like deep inside my heart that I feel like if I do something, you know, as my hobby, as my full-time job, that it'll crash and burn. It'll completely fail. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's just my mind that does that. Like, I hear so many success stories of other YouTubers who like quit their full-time job and like started doing this more, like worked at it more, and now they don't have to work and this is it. And like, it's inspiring, because it's like, my God, maybe that could be me. But then that ball of fear, this ball that sits right here every day, is like, that's an unrealistic thing. That won't happen to you. You can't be serious. Like, it won't last. It's not permanent, kind of thing. Like, don't throw everything you have away. It's hard. Like all of this negativity and like, you know, what ifs and buts and don'ts, and like a part of me is like, I want to try, but the other part of me is like, I like having money, I like being able to pay my bills, and I like having a reliable source of income. I don't know if I'm ready to throw that away just solely to do this, although if I did get rid of the full-time job and worked on YouTube, then I'd be able to put a lot more, you know, heart and soul into my channel, into my games, into the stuff I play, into the content you guys watch, that it would help me immensely. If I had so much more time in the world, I could work on this extensively. I'm in this limbo state where I'm like, do I go here? Do I go there? Do I go up there? Do I go down here? Do I, you know, take it back? Do I, you know, 2 steps left, 1 hop, let's go? What do I do? What do I do? And that's where I am, is what do I do? Yeah. That's it. That's my ramble. That's my brain vomit. Sorry if it got on your shoes. Sorry if it was not as exciting as you might have wanted to hear. But I wanted to update you guys on how I was doing and why these haven't been around, and there you go. Too long didn't listen version of this vlog. Hit another quarter-life crisis. I'm trying to become a better person and overcome my fears and doubts and negativity. I am working towards finding something better to do in my time with my life and my job and my career, but I don't know what that is, and I'm still figuring everything out. I'm starting slowly. I'm starting very slowly. I am trying to work on taking care of myself. John and I have recently started kind of like dieting and exercising. We, like, not perfectly, but starting to, like, you know, trading in pasta for salad and stuff like that. And I've been working out like maybe like 3 or 4 days a week. I play DDR with John, and because we have a DDR set up in the basement with the bar, so we've been playing that, and it's exhausting and I'm sore and I'm tired, but it feels good and I'm getting better, so it makes me excited. I'm trying to just kind of lose some weight or like work out so that way I can possibly get my health back in order and get off medicine that makes me have really crazy alternate side effects. Just trying to take it one step at a time at work right now and breathe, trusting the universe to bring something really awesome. So that's where I am right now. Tomorrow I might be crying. I don't know. I hope not. I'm hoping for better things. In the back of my heart, in the back of my mind, in the bottom of my heart, I'm like, I got this. Things will work out. Everything's okay. And then everything else on top is like a giant anvil that's pushing it down. And it's like, boom, boom, fuck you. You know, that's not how this is working. I also don't know why I made boom, boom sound effects. I'm tired. I did not get a lot of sleep last night. That is why I'm crazy. But I hope that this update vlog sufficed. It's not as fancy. There's no kitties in it. I apologize. Let me know what you guys think about this and if you guys are going through something similar. And I like reading your comments. I like reading what you have to say about it. And this isn't for attention. This is just to let people who are genuinely concerned about me know what's going on and that I'm okay, I'm alive, I'm working it out, you know, nothing terrible has happened. I'm just going through that thing. 2018 has been very challenging. It's getting better. It's getting better. It will get better. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys soon. So take care, everybody. I don't know why I stumbled over that. And have a good night. Bye-bye.